All right, rock stars, welcome to, man, it's hard to believe, episode 200 of the No Bullshit podcast for contractors. Uh, Man, that's a lot of episodes. But today, man, I'm pumped for my man Marc to be on the 200th episode. Marc, he's from Sungate Construction out of, is it Provo, Utah, right, Marc?
Yep.
Okay. And, I'm going to tell you guys, this story is going to hit home hard for a lot of you guys. Like, let me just start off by saying this, and then I want Marc to talk to us a little bit about, a lot about what he did to go from this challenge he had. But just a few months ago, guys, Marc was feeling burnt out, and it was a lot of near misses. Okay, grinding nonstop, and with no wins, like no wins to show for all this freaking like busting his ass effort. But then it seemed like a boom, and he lands not just, it's not one job but several jobs, from going from panicking, not having enough sales, not getting enough work landed, to now $900,000 in work in 1 month. So Marc, welcome. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, thanks.
Awesome. So you know that was a quite the journey went on, pretty stressful, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a couple of big shifts that you went through. um, We're going to talk about how you leveled up on the subcontractor game. Okay. So you basically ditched the guesswork, right? You rebuilt your bid list, and how you priced so that you were confident with your pricing. That the other thing is that you really focused in on networking and really using some, I call it the secret psychology, um, which had a dramatic impact. But there's also the third area, which is the resiliency, okay, which I want to talk about. So just tell us a little bit more about, give us a sort of high level view snapshot from your perspective outside of what I've said on what was going on. Like what was it like there going back in time, man?
Yeah, I mean, about a year and a half ago, we had a really successful winter, came off really strong off of some great projects, and then nothing, like crickets. Like happens to all of us. I was sucked into the projects and wasn't building out for the what was going to happen when those projects finished.
Mm-hmm.
And it really ended up worse than I imagined. I mean, I floundered for a long time, and first with lead flow, then with bid consistency, and then kind of converting bids to sales eventually. And as I worked with Carol and the workshops and stuff, I got bits and pieces that I put in place, and one by one, I solved those problems, and then finally got to where we landed these projects recently. So.
If this video resonates with you at all, let's be real. You're working your ass off, but your bank account, it doesn't reflect it, right? Jobs keep piling up, the team's not stepping up, and no matter how many hours you put in, it still feels like you're treading water. Sound familiar? Listen, it doesn't have to be that way. I help contractors just like you take back control, make more money, and finally build a business that doesn't suck up all of your time in your life. And it all starts with a free 20-minute call. That's it. If you're tired of grinding with nothing to show for it, hit the link below, book a call, and let's fix this. Look, one step, that's all it takes sometimes to start turning this around. Let's make it happen. Love it. Love it. So let's rewind a bit. Okay. So when we talk about, and look at me, if you want to go beyond beyond just subcontractor game, the networking, you talked about, you and I were chatting before this about the bid process. Let's just go under the hood here, open it all up so everybody can
Sure.
benefit from this. Because guys, here's the thing. You're probably, a lot of you guys are probably getting busy, or you're really busy. And I got to tell you, now is the time to be thinking about this. And you might be like, Andrew, I don't understand. Why would now be the time when I'm busy? Because, guys, if you don't think about these things proactively, especially, and it doesn't have to be this specific time frame, but for a lot of contractors, we got to be thinking marketing strategically wise, and sales at, our pipeline, even though you might be packed right now, but you got to be thinking 3, 4 months out, especially come January, February, when everybody wants everything done at the end of the year, and then all of a sudden things dry up for the first quarter of the year, and it's just panic central. But coming back to you, Mark, this subcontractor game, what were some of the things that you did to ditch the guesswork, to rebuild this bid list of yours? What were some things you did
Yeah,
on that front?
so we had been working with a number of subcontractors that kind of followed me out of the beginning of my company where I was doing more residential work, and I'd always wanted to I guess for everybody, I do commercial tenant improvements, so like strip mall build outs and I mean a lot of different types of businesses, but that's what we focus on. And when I got my company started, I was doing a lot of residential to pay the bills. And so those subcontractors that followed me out of residential, great guys to work with, but realized that they didn't quite have the attention to the schedule that commercial work requires, especially when you get into like corporate clients and stuff that have strict
Yep.
deadlines. And
Hmm.
also their pricing wasn't accurate. They weren't doing commercial work all the time, and so they were just kind of flying by the seat of their pants on their pricing. And so what we and this was kind of the last piece of the kind of my journey of getting the subcontractor base that we needed to really start converting projects. Um, we spent some time on a website called Blue Book, and there they are all commercial trades. And so I had my VA go through. I put together a script for her, have her go through and make phone calls, and we found a lot of trades that way. We would kind of do some. She would do the initial legwork, and then I would have like a quick kind of qualifying call to see what their
Yes.
project history
Yep.
was,
Yep.
make sure that they really understood what we were trying to do.
Hmm.
Some other things that we did, um, we would ask trades, hey, who's been a good trade that you've worked with? Like we'd ask the plumber, who do you know who the HVAC guy was or who the electrician was on that TI that you did for, whatever. And that helped. We got some leads that way. And then kind of the piece that really drove it home is we treat our subcontractors well. We're really upfront with them on what the payment terms are going to be on a project. With like a smaller franchisee, our payment terms are pretty quick. We can turn it around on large corporate projects. We'll do a billing at the end of the month and it'll be 30 days till we get it. But we're upfront with everybody about that from the get-go. And so everybody knows going in. And like 95% of the time, we're hassling our trades to get us their invoices so we can pay the bills. Not a lot of GCs are anxious to pay their subs, but
Yep.
our philosophy is we want them to know we're paying as much attention to paying them as we want them to
Yes.
pay to the project. So it
Beautiful.
goes both
Beautiful.
ways. And so when you're treating our subs well, they'll tell their buddy that's the plumber will tell their buddy that's an electrician, hey, here's a good GC, go work for him. Get on
That's
their bid
huge. That's
list.
huge.
Mhm.
So let's just pause for a second. Let's bring this back to how not having the right list of subs was preventing you, because man, it was painful for us to watch. Okay, when I say us, we've got a whole team here, Proper Contractors. Okay, so Mark's got his own coach and got the financial coach. We got a whole bunch of support. Okay, and it was painful to watch Mark bid after bid, like dozens, hundreds of hours trying to win these jobs, and he just couldn't. So bring it back to the effects of what impact did it have in getting the right subs, filtering. We talk about filtering fast on some of these podcasts. A lot of people think it's just customers. It's not just customers. It's filtering fast. If any of you guys use subs can be a gold mine for you, or they can be your honestly your greatest arch enemy without even anybody wanting it to be, in the sense of they're not getting you the results you want. In your case, you weren't landing jobs. So how did this impact, put aside that these guys know what they're talking about, how did that impact your ability to be competitive, your ability to land these jobs? Tell us about that.
So, like a big sign for us is when we would send out bid invitations and then we would do the follow-up phone calls to confirm that they're bidding. And we started hearing, oh, yeah, I already got that from another GC. I already got that from another GC, which told us that we were getting the right pricing that our competitors were getting. And
Hmm.
so, which we hadn't heard that very much before. It
What
was
did you hear before?
just nothing, just like, okay, we'll bid it. And if we were getting pricing that our competitors weren't getting, and it was higher pricing. I mean, is kind of what it result is.
Yeah.
A few of our trades were giving us competitive pricing,
Yeah.
but there were a bunch that weren't, and it was hurting us.
Hmm. Very good. Very good. So that impacted you because I mean, you weren't being competitive enough. And not only that, you didn't, being competitive, guys, let's just be clear. Every trades person listening to me, you guys know this. I know it. If you're not in the trades, you would know this. Okay. Getting better pricing doesn't mean the quality necessarily goes down. Getting better pricing is a direct correlation. Now, there are guys that lowball, there are guys out there that are bad for the marketplace. Yeah, that's terrible stuff. But if you're hiring subs to get your price and they don't understand the specifics, the technology, they don't understand because they haven't done projects like this before, that's going to significantly affect the pricing. As well, they also don't have the relationships with the suppliers to get the best pricing. And then guess who pays the price?
Mhm.
Who, Mark? Who pays it?
Yeah, yeah. The GC that doesn't get the work, you know.
Totally, totally.
And just to kind of add to that, I mean, if doing a tenant improvement is way different than doing a house. The workflow is different. The trade work itself is different.
Mm,
And you're working in metal studs, not wood studs.
mm,
The codes are a little different on what they're looking for in a commercial building than what they're looking at in a
100%.
house. A big one for us was a drywaller that we worked with that followed me out of the residential, and he was willing to do commercial work, and he did a few, and they were okay, but his pricing wasn't as competitive as some, real framing and drywall guys or that do commercial work all the time. The
Mm,
commercial guys are familiar with the schedule and the workflow and the way, the underground transitions to the rough end to everything, which happens really fast on a commercial project. And so somebody that's doing that every day, every week, every month, every year, their mind understands it, and they do it every day, and their crews do it every day, so their
yep.
pricing is competitive. And
Awesome.
then
Awesome.
like something else we found, we've kind of developed this little niche in dental, and we found some of our trades are better on the dental work than they are in maybe food service or a
Mm,
boutique fitness place.
mm,
And as we've and so all of that kind of factors into getting more competitive pricing on the projects.
awesome. Now let's talk about the networking and follow up. One of the things that we heavily teach here is the secret psychology. Okay, what's it? What's the four letters?
FFWA: fears,
Hmm.
frustrations, wants, and aspirations.
So tell us, how did this affect you on the networking, follow up, building relationships?
Yeah,
And
I
here,
mean,
I call it the secret psychology, right?
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
it's been huge. So doing commercial work,
Well, wait a second. What is it? Everybody's like, what the heck do
oh,
these letters stand
yeah,
for?
so it's fears, frustrations, wants, and aspirations. And so as you're and it's just an exercise you can do, and it just works out. It puts you in the mindset of the client or the people that you're networking with to understand what their concerns are and what they're looking for in their relationship with you, and what it's done for. And so there was a workshop that we did last year, and I
Hmm.
did that for one type of person, and I was like, oh shoot, well, I can do this for this other type of person and this other type of person. And I think now I've done that exercise for, I think it's like 20 different types of people.
Hmm.
And what we've done is we've put that into Chat GPT, and we said, hey, remember this profile for this type of person and this type of person. And so
Hmm.
now when we do our follow-up emails, or sometimes I'll even have it give me like a practice phone script or something if I'm calling somebody,
Yep.
and it can put together a short, really effective email based on those points for that type of person. And
Yep.
it's it's been immensely successful. Like We have some of the people that we have in there, commercial property managers, commercial real estate agents, architects,
Mhm.
franchisees, experienced
Mhm.
franchisees and new franchisees because they're worried
Yep.
they're different things, dentists and doctors and stuff. So, and it's made our cold contacting extremely effective. If I
Okay,
can
can I
get an
just,
email from, oh, go ahead.
yeah, I would just want to give an example to everybody here, okay? Just so
Sure.
that everybody understands this is not some lengthy drawn out process. And this is the No Bullshit podcast. So you can call bullshit on me, Mark. Is that fair?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So the first time I taught this at the workshop, funny enough, I picked Mark. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I
And I
I
said,
don't know
Mark,
that I do.
Mark, tell me, how do you engage with such and such? Like, who would be somebody you would want to engage with? And Mark goes, well, I want to engage with, such and such
Here,
type
and
of
I don't know if
person.
this would be helpful, Andrew. I actually have my notes here from that exercise. You want me to read through them quick?
Well, let me
Yeah,
just say what
okay,
happened.
okay, go ahead.
So Mark goes, yeah, I've got this person that I want to contact. I want to cold call some of these people. Like, how do I do that, Andrew? I said, well, how do you normally do it? Like, let's do a role play. Now, this is in front of all the champion CEOs. Mark goes, well, so I go, ring, ring. He goes, what? Ring, ring. I'm now the prospect. And so Mark goes through, tells me things. Guys, how do you think he did? He did great. I go, yeah, Mark actually did really good. You go, can I try? He goes, sure. So I'm now going to be you. I said, but before we do that, I just want to ask you a couple of questions. What's the frustrations this person would have? Oh, guys, not showing up on time, not delivering this, not quality. Okay. What's their greatest fear? Their greatest fear is that the project doesn't happen on time. They lose money. They can't open up in time. That affects their revenue, especially in the example. Actually, you know what it was? Now I remember more specific. It was a dental office.
Oh yeah. Oh, I
It
do.
was a
Yeah,
de
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes, it was the dental
yeah.
office. And you're like, yeah. And I go, what's the fear? Well, they can't generate revenue. And they've made these expectations. They got to pay for this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay, what's their wants? And I said, let's just flip them. Their frustrations are this. Wants are the opposite of frustrations. Aspirations are the opposite of the fears. He goes, okay. Like right, where the fuck is Andrew going with this again? Said,
Yeah.
now I'm gonna make the call. And I made the call to him, role playing. And I use that as like a live flow of not a written script, but written script in the sense of these are the topics I'm going to talk to. And Mark, do you remember what your response was?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
He
It
goes,
was.
Andrew, can I hire you as my salesperson? And I'm like, yeah, right. He goes, no, seriously. He goes, that was freaking amazing. I can't believe. I go, everybody listening, that was my first kick of the can. I don't do TIs for dentists, do I, Mark? And he goes, no. Imagine in literally in minutes, it took what Mark was doing that was okay and just took it to the next level. Is this true?
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
are a couple of the notes? Not all the notes, but what are a couple of the highlights of your
Yeah,
notes?
so this was one was architects. So it fears, contractor won't respect the branding. This is like a franchise. A contractor has too many questions, wastes design times, and drives up the contract administration or construction administration. Let's see, frustrations, open-ended contractor questions, not providing enough background. GC not looking at plans and wasting time, and then like wants, an architect wants to work with a diligent contractor that coordinates the drawings from different disciplines and doesn't waste their time. I mean, there's more, but I mean, this has been very effective for us, and we have some good relationships with a few architects now that have gotten us bid invitations on some projects, and and we communicate to what they want, and then when they put us in front of their client, whether it's a corporate or franchise or standalone, because we have this profile for these different
Hmm.
types of people, we can talk effectively to their clients and make them look good. Like, oh, this
Yep.
GC knows what we want,
Love it.
and yeah,
Love it. Love it.
it's been good.
Guess what, Mark?
What?
Have we scripted this at all
Nope.
today? Huh. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do an intro call. How's that? Right now. I got 3 bullets. Everybody listen. Target audience
Okay.
is the architect.
Okay.
Ready? All right. Now, obviously, there's going to be some maybe intro and stuff like that. I'm going to skip that high, type of thing, but I'm just going to get right to the point. Okay. Let's just say you're Mark, the architect.
Okay.
I'm calling you and I get on the phone with Mark, or I'm at a networking event. Mark, I'm going to ask you, so what do you do? And you say, I'm an architect for such and such. Okay. So
Mhm.
it's either ring ring or we're at a networking event.
Yep.
Hey, Mark, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
Doing good. How's it going, Andrew?
Good, going good. Hey, Mark, just curious. I know we're at this networking event or making the call, guys. So, Mark, like, what do you do?
Yeah, so we're an architect. We're
Oh, awesome. Architecting in this area here.
Yep. Yeah, here in Salt Lake.
Awesome. Like, do you guys do like architect jobs for like dentist offices and stuff like that?
Yeah, we do a number of different types of like medical tenant improvement build outs.
Awesome. Well, it's quite the coincidence. So, our company, we actually do, tenant improvements. One of the areas we specialize in is like working with architects. And, we've built some really good relationships because, like, I don't know if any of this resonates with you, but being an architect, your brand is super, super important. And one of the worst things, we hear from architects, which is what we respect, is like you don't want to be sitting there getting drilled with questions every day. And, you want to make sure that like that your timeline is met because at the end of the day, you want to look good in front of your customer. I mean, I don't know if any of that resonates with you, but these are some of the main things that we focus in on in respecting architects. Like, does that resonate with you at all, Mark?
Yeah, it sounds good. Working with a crappy GC on this other project right now and just burns us up with RFIs. It sucks.
Hey, guys, guys, that was in seconds. Mark, was that good?
Yeah. Yep, that was good.
You're
And
you're
I've
now
had conversations like that.
right. You're guys. Too many times we're talking about us. When in essence, was I talking about us, Mark, at the same time talking about them? I was talking about them while I was talking about us in seconds. Okay, guys, any
Nope.
person, any of you guys that take this is the No Bullshit Podcast. Take what Mark has talked about, the fears, frustrations, wants, and aspirations. I can look at your website in seconds. I can look at your Facebook page. I can look at your social media in seconds, I know. Because, Mark, this secret psychology, it applies to every type of communication, especially anything to do with marketing, clients, reaching out to subs. True?
Yeah. Yep. And this has been a whole big mind shift for me because I am not a marketing guy. I'm not a sales guy. I'm like
Mm,
in the technical details getting the project done and I'm good at that. But
right.
the learning this whole sales thing, it's taken a while. It's occasionally been painful, but it's starting to pay off. So,
Totally. Right. And look at it, here's the funny thing. It's a little bit like, man, is this going to work? But Mark, how much faster are people positively receptive to you?
oh yeah, uh, yeah, like it's so easy now. Like, and I can connect with people way faster than I did, especially on like corporate prospects. If I'm trying to
Hmm.
network to like a corporate construction manager or
Yeah,
something,
totally.
like I can say what they want to hear. I know how to say it. I've worked in that world before in the past, but not on a sales perspective.
Right.
But I can make that connection. I can do it in a phone call. I can do it in an email, and like 90% of the time they're like, "Hey, your work looks great. Here's our pre-qualification paperwork. Let's get you on our bidders list."
Love it.
And
Love
it's
it.
happened.
Let's be clear. That quick conversation you guys heard, Mark, that you just heard, and seriously, no bullshit, Mark, call me out on it, okay, if this is the case. Was that me honestly respecting the architect in his needs, okay? Building a
Yep.
relationship, or was it salesish? Like a used car salesman?
No,
It's
and
built.
that when you did the FFWA in that workshop, that's what clicked with me. It's like, oh, I don't have to be salesy. I just have to
No.
tell them I just have to let them know I know what they're concerned about and I can take care of
Yes.
their problems.
Yes,
And that,
dude.
yeah, like in my life, that's the first time that like that sales thing kind of clicked because I'm like, oh, I don't have to be a asshole. I can like, am I allowed to say that? Sorry.
No,
But
no, of course, there's no
but I'm
bullshit.
like,
Look, and it's
yeah,
true,
I'm,
okay?
it,
Mark,
it made a huge
so true.
difference.
When you
So,
and I had our first call, I'll say on this call and no bullshit. Okay? They call it a call to action. Okay? Okay? I say it's a call to a potential relationship. Okay?
hmm
Which is you booked in a call. We had an honest conversation talking about your frustrations, your fears, your wants and the aspirations, and
hmm
identifying were they things that we could honestly, was there a fit to see if we couldn't help. And now it's been a game changer. I mean, without these things, would you have come out of the flames like a phoenix? And
mm-mm.
would you, honestly,
No, no.
what would have
And that,
happened?
well, yeah, we'd be
Close
done.
the doors.
Yeah, like, yeah.
You were
Like,
thinking of
so,
closing the doors. Is that true?
yeah, oh, yeah, like
Yep.
probably 3 or 4 months ago, it was a real possibility.
Yep.
Yep. But the part about like building a relationship that like the FFWA turns the sales into building a relationship.
Correct.
And we're starting to see this play out in some other ways, like with a lot of the national franchises, they work with these third-party property or these third-party
Yep.
construction managers that assist their
Mm.
franchisee in the build out. And we've bid work for them in the past. We weren't awarded that work, but they were so impressed with our bid process and our communication. That person is recommended us to someone else in their office. It says, hey, when you have a build out in Salt Lake City, make sure that Sungate comes and bids it.
Awesome.
And that's one of these projects from this 900,000 is a result of that.
Yeah, baby.
So, yeah,
Right? Okay. Because guess
yeah,
what? It is contagious,
yeah.
especially when they're not used to it. So, like, as we wrap this video, what would be your recommendation to those? Like, and I mean, I know, listen, here's the thing I got to say. It wasn't a lack of effort. Okay. Guys, listen to this. It was not a lack of effort. It wasn't a lack of Mark's inability to learn something. It's that Mark didn't know what he didn't know. And once he learned it and applied it, it frickin' worked. Guys, go back. It's the 200th podcast. Go back to the other podcast. It's no bullshit. This stuff works. Okay. So it started with Mark raising his hand and going like, I don't know, man. I don't know if these guys can help me. And I'll be straight up with you. Fuck, I don't know if I can help you, but I'm not here to sell you anything. We're here to build a relationship, regardless of if there's a fit or not. It's to help you. Okay. So Mark, like what would be the biggest, if there's anything that picture yourself back in time, right? What would have been your word of advice to those listening in today that might be struggling with this, or their things are fucking booming, oh, I'm too busy, but yet they hit this fucking slow period every fucking January to March. What would you say?
Yeah, like the man, it's hard to pick like one piece because in my mind they're all like building blocks that built on each other. I mean, the sales thing was huge.
Mm,
It got me more. It's gotten me in the last 8 months more bid invitations, more bid opportunities than I've had in the previous 4 years of business. So
mm,
like that's been huge, and a lot of that's been because of my improved communication, right? But
yep.
then closing the projects was a result of improving subcontractor relationships and adding subcontractor relationships. So like
Yeah.
it's hard to pick one. And then you mentioned guys coming into a slow time, and we've had
Yeah.
this conversation in some of the CEO group sessions of like, does the slow time come because of the winter, or does it the slow time come because it follows the busy time and you haven't been focusing on your marketing? And so it's just a result of not building up any leads over 3 or 4 months. And then you hit,
Yep.
October and you're like,
It's
oh
both.
crap.
It's both, but it's mainly 70% because you took your eyes off it because you're
Yeah.
too busy. You're sitting on the frickin' teeter totter. which is like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, now I got to get the work done, right, Mark? And we go way over here, right? We're over here, busy, 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 and we stop this relationship building, okay? The best
Yep.
time to create consistency and get off the roller coaster is leveraging your busy time so that you're anticipating the slow time so that you don't have a slow time. There you go, guys. Okay. And I guess my biggest thing that I would say to everybody on here, okay, which sort of summarizes what you've been saying, Mark, but at a very high level. Don't do it alone. Okay. Mark would have been potentially bankrupt if he had have been too stubborn to ask for help. Okay. You can get to where you're at. Okay. By, yeah, you're getting to where you're at because of what you know. You're also getting to where you're at and experiencing the pain points because of what you don't know. So you got to ask yourself a question. Is the pain and the risk, especially if you've got family and partners and such involved or employees, right? Where you want to make sure that their livelihoods are secure. Is it worth risking that versus actually having a chat that go, holy shit, I didn't know that, regardless of whether or not that relationship continues or not? Honestly, is it, Mark?
Mm,
It's
no.
not, because guess what? Some of it is non-recoverable. You can't get this time back. You can't get your profits back. And guess what? You sure shit. Some people have passed away because they couldn't get their health back because it's so fucking stressful. So guys, look at no pitch here, right? But honestly, there's a link in the description below, guys. If you want to have a quick little chat, it's the same chat that Mark had. Okay, again, no pitch, no pressure. I'm not bullshitting you. Okay, it's honestly to help you guys from a relationship perspective. It's not some sales pitch bullshit stuff. Okay, there's no promising in the world. There's no magic wands because somebody says, "Oh, you just do this one thing and everything's solved." The stuff that Mark talked about here today, this is going to help you. It's not going to solve and get you to where you want to go with your business. But it's another example of, I guarantee you, if you have not heard it here, you haven't heard it. Why? Because I came up with that. So just saying. And the team has come up with it. And the champion
And,
CEOs have, right? What are you going
and
to say, Mark?
when somebody comes and begins to work with profits for contractors, it's like you're not just coming into somebody winging it. You're coming into a system. Like when I work, so Carol's my coach in the group, and
She's
like there's a
amazing.
system, right? And and you pick each quarter, you pick the parts that you're going to work on. And at the end of each quarter, you do an evaluation of how your business is doing in that system. And it gives, like, it's been super encouraging to see like how many things I've checked off the list since I've been working with PFC. And like, I'm really excited to like see what happens here as we get this growth in
Mm-hmm.
sales and we have to build out other systems. And I
Mm-hmm.
learn more stuff that I don't know that I don't know. And I have
Totally.
to keep going. And just it's working with the group's been great.
I love it. And you know what? I love that you brought that up because I wanted to be clear about something here, guys. We've helped in some form or fashion over 9,000 contractors. Okay. And the reality is that every one of those check boxes, okay, impacts a symptom. What do I mean? That means Mark checked off the fears, frustrations, wants, and aspirations. So, what did it do from a symptom? It was a positive symptom. He's built the outcome is what? More relationships, a better ability to go and approach, prospective leads and subs and on and on and on. And guess what? Like, amazing, right? Amazing. Next level, right?
Hmm.
Okay. All right, dude. Listen, I want to say thank you so much for all your effort, for all your sharing and your abundance. Can't wait to see you continue growing. And we'll see you guys on the flip side with another podcast from Profit for Contractors. And thanks again, bro. We'll see you on here soon.
Yep.
Catch you
Thanks.
later. Later, man. Ciao.